Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, we told you that we had a surprise for you here. Of course, we talked about UNC Duke on the first part of our Final Four discussion. We're going to talk about the other part here, the other game, if you will, Kansas and Villanova. But we have a special guest joining us right now. He is the Senior Associate AD of Communications at Villanova University. Please welcome Dean Kenefick to the Sports Bros podcast. How you doing, Dean?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for the opportunity to chat with you guys a little bit.
Thanks, Dean. We greatly appreciate it. And also thanks to Scotty D for making this happen on such short notice. We know that you're a busy man and got a lot going on. So
yeah, once Scott called, I drop everything. Whatever he wants, I do.
Well, just so you guys know, Dean and I have known each other since we were in sixth grade, and he has been a fan of Villanova basketball since I've known him. So him working for Villanova would be like me working for the Cowboys. And not only that, this is the guy that came up with the nickname, the Money Man. This is the originator of my nickname right here. So that's the big life accomplishment he has right there is giving me my nickname.
There's 100% facts there, all facts.
Wow. And you've been trying to change your nickname the whole time. You're trying to become the main event. You're the Money Man, baby.
I'm adding on the Money Man, the main event. Yeah.
You'll be the Money Man. Now, look, I can only do Tom Brady with the 1,000 names. I can't do the Money Man, Scotty D, the main event. Prime attraction. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right, Dean. While we have you here, I know that you're a busy man. We're going to ask you a few questions. So you've been at Villanova since 1995. That's pretty good. Can you explain to us what your role is as the Senior Associate AD in Communications at Villanova University?
Yeah, so basically my office oversees all the communications of the department, of the athletic department. So we handle, all press releases, set up all interviews with coaches, handle the website stats, run the game events from a statistical standpoint, from a communication standpoint, write the game notes, the media guides, game stories. And then we kind of have different responsibilities. So I oversee, there's 8 of us in the office. I have 7 people below me that work for me, and we do various handle various sports. I oversee the office. I handle football, women's basketball, and I do men's basketball postseason as well.
All right, so this is at this is not at a community college. This is at a D1 university, Villanova University. For those that don't know where Villanova is located, could you tell everyone where it's located?
Yeah, we're about 15 miles west of Philadelphia. So we're in the suburbs of the Philadelphia. It's called the Main Line area. Outside of Philadelphia.
Okay. All right. B-Live, you got a questions for Dean?
And that is an incredible resume and everything. That just you can only imagine the amount of work that goes into this. And now I have to ask, with the rise of Villanova men's basketball, especially, and also the women's program, hats off to them. I was definitely watching both the men's and women's matchup, Villanova versus Michigan, for both programs. So that had to be something exciting.
Yeah,
and
weird
so
timing.
Man, oh man. So how the past few years, especially with the rise, 2016, 2018 national champions, how has that increased? How has your role increased during that time?
That's a really good question. It's just the attention that the program gets now is crazy. I mean, it's basically year round now. When I first got there, it was never like that. It was seasonal, like anything else. It was basketball season, and we'd turn whatever the next spring sports. And but now it's like almost 365 now. We get so much attention with all the accolades that Jay Wright has done and all the accomplishments. So it's become a year long thing. So Mike Sheridan from office handles basketball on a day-to-day basis. So he's busy on a consistent basis with a lot of requests. And I think the biggest difference is more national attention. We've always had the local attention from the Philly media. I think it's more the national attention that's come to fruition now with everything that he's accomplished.
Talking to Jay Wright, like we do a segment on a show every week, Dean, that we ask a question and we let our listeners and Facebook followers answer. And the question we asked last week was, now that Mike Krzyzewski is retiring, who do you think is the best college coach active in the game today? And B-Live and I both, before we knew we were having this conversation with you, we were saying it's got to be Jay Wright. He's the only active coach with multiple championships right now. I mean, what's he like? I mean, what's the secret to his success? Is it his recruiting? Is he just like such a great game manager? I mean, what's he like? I'm sure you must interact with him somewhat out there, right?
Yeah. I can answer one word was what sums up their success: culture. The culture he has built there is incredible. It's I know some people talk about culture, but they live it every day, and it's not like something that they say, they live it. Like it's a culture that he's built. And you hear like the Jay Billises of the world and the Gottliebs of the world. They use the same thing. The culture that he has with that program is incredible. They do the same thing. They're so consistent. Everything they do, how they do it, how they handle their business. It's just what he's been able to do from that standpoint is amazing. How they play hard. I mean, two things that you can say about Villanova basketball under Jay: they're going to play extremely hard every game, and they're gonna defend. Now they might have a bad shooting night and all that, but those two things are consistent every game, and they're going to share the ball on offense. But if you just see how hard they play and how detailed they are with everything they do, it's mind-boggling, to be honest with you.
Well, they're getting the accolades from them because that's the whole panel on CBS is saying basically in so many words kind of what you're saying with the consistency, where they're not lauding them as being like a flashy kind of team, but just
right.
A team. I mean, you're the best free throw shooting team in the country, like at a historic level. I mean,
yeah, if you watch the way they play, it's just they're so detailed, like the pump fakes, it's the spacing, it's the footwork. It's the little things that what separates, I think, them from the other teams. Like, everyone runs certain offenses, certain things. It's the little things, I think, that separate them. And if you kind of look at how the roster every year, they get good players, obviously, but they're not getting the top 10, top 20 players year in, year out. They're not getting the one and done. It's just the culture and the guys. And I think the way that the upperclassmen teach the younger kids, that also plays a big part, because they kind of teach the guys the Villanova way, for lack of a better way of saying it, and then it kind of perpetuates itself through that. And but it is a detail. It's credible. I think you see it in the pros, because a lot of our guys have gone on to have some really nice pro careers. The Jalen Brunsons, the Bridges, the Dante DiVincenzo's, all those guys. Josh Hart. I think Jay does such a phenomenal job preparing those guys for the pros with all the, like I said, the footwork and the shot fakes and the spacing and just all the little things. The intangibles, I guess, is maybe the way to sum it up best.
Stuff that's a lost art a lot of times
Correct.
with the big programs. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Me having a basketball background, I've been since 6 years old. Whenever I could first pick up a basketball, one thing, fundamentals, and I just love free throw shooting. A very, very much lost art, and that's one thing I enjoy watching, because so many games are lost at the free throw line. It's free. It is free.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the days of just practicing hours and hours on end, just free throws, and if you miss, you're running. So I love seeing the Villanova program. I love seeing what Jay Wright is doing there. It's phenomenal, that the program that he has, and just seeing it rise among, like, because this is truly a blue blood Final Four, and to have Villanova be mentioned as part of the Blue Bloods, especially because of the recent success that your program has, is truly phenomenal. This is a college basketball enthusiast dream. Sorry, mid-major programs, but it's the big boys that came to play. So,
yeah, we did. He did. The free throw shooting is amazing. We're 37 games into the season. They're shooting 83% from the free throw line.
Wow.
Like it's. I think I'm pretty sure. As long as they don't have a bad weekend this weekend, they're going to set the NCAA record for the highest free throw percentage in a single season. But 83%, 37 games in is crazy.
That's phenomenal. And the game against Houston the other day wasn't the prettiest of games, but when it got down towards the end, I'm watching with my dad, and I said, Villanova is close enough with like 2 minutes to go where they're going to have to start shooting free throws. Houston's going to have to foul these guys down 5. And if that's the case, it's going to be over. They're not catching them.
Yeah, I think we were 15 or 15th in the line that game, and I think they were like 8 of 17 or 8 of 15. That was a big difference.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah, it was.
Yep. All right. So, Dean, I'm kind of I don't know if I've already told you, I graduated from the University of Arizona Global Campus, and I'm a journalism and mass communications major with a minor in communication studies. So communications is my thing, as you can see with, me and Brian and Scott and doing this whole Sports podcast and everything. What is an average day for you?
That, you know what? I get asked that question a lot. It's actually a really hard question for me to answer. Because each day is different.
Just answer the best way you can.
Yeah, each day is different, which is why I like my job, because every day is a different deal. So like today, for example, was crazy with all the Final Four stuff going on. So today was just kind of like it was like a fire drill all day, like this request. And like tomorrow, we have CBS coming in tomorrow and ESPN coming in tomorrow for 6 hours to do like all this like background stuff on follow us behind the scenes and all this confidential stuff. So that's an abnormal day. A normal day, if we have no events, I get in around. I drop the kids off at school at 8. I'm in the office by like 8:30. And a lot of it's just prep work for whatever events we have coming on. But a normal game day, if we have a basketball game at 7, I usually get to the arena at 5. We set up everything up, get it ready to go. And then a lot of our work's done is after the game, though. It's just, the post-game press conference and then writing the game stories and getting the stats updated and sending off the game files to the NCAA and the conference office. A lot of the stuff takes place after the game with that. So it's kind of every day is different, but game days are long, but they're also probably the most fun days of the week as well.
And you get to watch the games for free.
We do, and get a great seat, which is right
I've
there.
I've seen you on TV many times sitting courtside. You do it. You get the best seat in the house.
Yeah, we get the best. Big East tournament is my favorite weekend of the year. Because I sit literally. I'm half court on the floor, so it's me, MDC and his feet, and then Gus Johnson and Fox. I'm right. That's my best weekend of the year is the Big East tournament. That's my favorite.
In the
as
garden.
Fun as the NCAA tournament.
In the garden.
Yep. As fun as the NCAA tournament is, Big East tournament, my favorite weekend of the year. No question.
Man, oh man. That is absolutely incredible. That's like a sports guy's dream, just especially when it comes to the sports that you love, and you get to do it on multiple aspects. Football, basketball. Like I believe you've done work with the golf program, lacrosse program as well, and that's just being on multiple facets of all things sports. I'm gonna throw a little curveball. I'm gonna throw a little curveball at you.
All right.
I want to know how it felt. 2001, if I believe, with Brian Westbrook winning the Walter Payton Award. What was your impact on that? What was your role in that?
I wish you had told me you're going to ask me that question. I'd have brought up a little prop to show you what we did. So Brian Westbrook was a phenomenal story. Obviously a phenomenal player, and we're still really good friends to this day. He's a great guy. But he was considered the third best running back in his recruiting class at Villanova. Third best. And then first couple weeks of camp, we're like, no, man, who is this dude? Like, he just jumped off the page out. Who is this guy? And so his junior year, he lost the Walter Payton Award by 15 votes, 20 votes to a guy named Adrian Peterson, who ended up not the Adrian Peterson that played for a million teams, but Adrian Peterson played for Georgia. I think it was Georgia Southern.
Yeah,
he played
Georgia
for
Southern.
the Bears. So he lost to him, and we thought Brian should have won. So next year, this is before technology and all the stuff that goes on today, no social media. So we kind of did this thing called Wild Westbrook. We dressed him up as a cowboy, and this on this promotional thing we did, and we had fun with him. We had the director, the head coach, the producer, the offensive coordinator, and we dressed him up in this. He was a good sport about it, and it was this flyer. It was a flyer about 8x10 color flyer. And I was able to get a hold of every mailing address of every voter in the country. And we mailed those things out every Monday. We kept the back blank, and we type in what he did that week and then the season stats. So every week we mailed those out to 140 people, these Wild Westbrook things. And I don't know if it helped or not, but he won. And so fast forward, he goes to the Eagles, and I don't know how some of his teammates got a hold of that that flyer. Oh, they killed him for it. So they started calling him, we had him in cowboy boots, we had him in a hat, everything. So they started calling him Little Boots. So all of his Eagles teammates called him Little Boots because of the flyer that we did. So it's and I just had my neighbor, actually, it's funny you bring it up, because a couple weeks ago he asked me, he saw it somewhere, and his buddy's getting married, and Westbrook was his favorite Eagle. So he asked me to get a copy of it, to get an autograph. And Brian was a great sport. He did it and autographed it and everything. So he was a great player. He's also, little known story, phenomenal basketball player. He wasn't going to play Division I basketball, and he ended up playing football, obviously, which was the right choice. But he played at DeMatha High School in Baltimore, outside of DC, which is a great program.
Yeah.
And I think to this day he has the highest field goal percentage in DeMatha history.
Wow.
Oh wow.
We got lucky.
And he's still there. He's still in the area.
He lives in Brooklyn, married with 3 kids in Brooklyn, and we got lucky because he broke his hip in a dunking contest his end of his junior year, so he missed most of his senior year of football. So it wasn't a lot of film. He's being recruited by all the big boys, so he got hurt, and it basically came down to Villanova, William Mary, and Richmond. Those are the 3 schools that came down to. And our running back coach saw him play basketball. So I love this kid. That's how I ended up at Villanova. And that running back coach is now head coach at Temple.
That is awesome. I'm just going to throw this out here. Hey, JR Speaks. This is to you. I did this for you, sir. He's a diehard Philadelphia Eagle fan, and so I know he's a big fan of Brian Westbrook. And I was just doing a little research. I happened to see that. It's a phenomenal story. And that is incredible.
He's the best. Cool. Brian is such a good guy, and very supportive of Villanova. And like I say, he's still a great friend today. I can't say enough good things about him. It's great.
Perfect.
So with all those good moments, what ranks? Does anything rank higher than the Chris Jenkins shot? That was in Houston against Carolina.
For me,
correct?
or for Villanova?
For you.
For me, or
you personally. For you personally. Because you were sitting courtside for that one, correct?
I was, and actually, you know who sat right behind me?
Beli's a bit of a Tar Heel back. He's a Clemson guy, but he always kind of liked them. But who was sitting behind you?
Behind me. Your guy was right behind me. He actually borrowed a pen from me during the game. Your guy Tony Romo. He sat literally right behind me. Right behind me.
You had a seat in front of Tony Romo.
I was in front of Tony Romo and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was to my left, 3 rows back. So I was in front of both of them. But that was just pure luck. That's where the administration seats. That's where our administration seats are. Kind of before the regular seats. That was the ultimate. I mean, to win the national championship in that fashion was. I mean, and people will remember Chris Jenkins' shot. They don't remember the crazy shot that North Carolina hit to send it to overtime. That guy, if he takes it 10 times, he makes it once, and he made that one shot. And but to win the national championship like that, I mean, that's kind of the ultimate right there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was going crazy for you watching the game. I'm not even a Villanova fan, and I was going crazy for you in South Carolina. And obviously, a lot less drama 2 years later against Michigan. That was
right.
They handily defeated Michigan.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like 16 was hard because we had to really work through that tournament. If you remember correctly, we had some close calls. We had to beat.
Yeah, but didn't they kill Oklahoma like an incredible Final Four game?
But in the Elite Eight, we had a close game with Kansas down in Louisville, close game, and then we played Oklahoma, who beat us by 20 early in the year. And honestly, I knew we were gonna win that game. Our guys are ready for that one. We blew them out. But I think it was the biggest win in history of the Final Four. I think maybe about 40.
It was. I think it was crazy. That was Buddy Hield's team or Buddy Howard.
Yeah, it was. Oklahoma,
yeah.
And then Carolina was obviously a great game, but then 18 was a better city for the Final Four. San Antonio was a much better city than Houston for the Final Four, so the city was better. But we just ran through. We had one tough game that whole tournament. And it was in Boston. West Virginia gave us everything we wanted in the Sweet 16 game. Really close game that we pulled away late. But both games in the Final Four, we destroyed Kansas and beat Michigan bad.
So how does this year's team rank? We got a shot at beating Kansas on Saturday. I mean, I know that Villanova's thing right now seems to be obviously free throws and defense.
Yeah.
Can they score enough to beat Kansas? Because Kansas got this Abaji. Is that how you say his name? This kid's an All-American. He looked really, really good in this tournament.
Yeah, that's the magic question. Can we score enough? Because we are. I don't know if you followed it closely, but we lost one of our best players on Sunday. Tore his Achilles, and he's a huge loss. I mean, he's a very good player. He's a second leading scorer. He's also he defends the other team's best players. So, and what didn't get any attention was 2 days before the NCAA tournament started, we lost this freshman kid, Jordan Longino. If you look at his numbers, you're like, oh, okay, that's not a big loss. But he had really started playing really well. He's like a 6'4", 6'5" athletic kid. give us another perimeter player. So now we're down 2 perimeter players. So I don't know if the question is, can we score enough? I know they're going to try. I know they're going to play hard, and Coach Rice can have a good game plan. So I think the question is, can we score enough with those guys out? Because we don't have much of a bench, much room for error with those guys out. But I think they're going to give it a try. I tell you that. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, one thing I'll say that, and we kind of were making fun of Gonzaga a little bit ago, is not being battle tested. And I mean, Villanova this year, you got UCLA right out of the gate. You had 2 games with UConn, Purdue, Baylor. Even losing those games, those toughen you up and get you ready for this time of year. I mean, not every one of those games were wins, but again, when you're playing that kind of competition, that has to have you prepared for the situation.
Really good point. And I think Coach Rice talked about it a couple of times this year. He thought he actually overscheduled, to be honest with you. He thought he played too many tough teams and put our guys in some tough spots. If you remember, Baylor destroyed us in a game. I don't know if we scored 40 points. I mean, and I remember he just talked about last week at the NCAA tournament in the media session. He thought at that point we were really tired because we had gone through the gauntlet of playing all those teams. He thought we just were tired, but he thought playing those teams did eventually pay off for us in the conference season and then in the postseason. Because like you said, we played them all. We played Baylor's defense. We played what do you call it? Syracuse with their zone. Played Purdue with their height.
In the Garden.
Played Purdue at their heights. We played a lot of different teams with a lot of different styles. So I think it did help us, and it did definitely make us test it. There's no question about
it. I definitely see this game as more like the indestructible force, immovable object.
Yeah.
Because 2
Something's
contrasting styles. Kansas loves to speed up the pace, and I think that's where Miami went wrong. They were trying to keep up with Kansas. No, you need to slow Kansas down. Correct. And Villanova they have that program. They like to slow the ball down, half court offense. I think it's going to be a very interesting watch. I did see that injury, and that I was like, ooh, that me and Scott both said it just. Yes, but
I saw,
and I heard about that Longino kid too. I knew he was playing well too. I was reading about him.
He was playing. It just felt bad for Justin Moore. So bad for the kid. He worked out hard. He's had a great career up to this point. Had a chance to go to the Final Four.
Is he a senior, Dean?
He's a junior. But you tear your Achilles 50 seconds to go in the game. Like that's just brutal.
Yeah, these chances aren't guaranteed to come every single year for sure.
Exactly.
Hey. So, but before we let you go, just you mentioned to me personally earlier, you're going to New Orleans on Wednesday, correct?
Correct.
So what happens from like Wednesday until Saturday? What do you do to prepare? How's the team get ready for that? I mean, is there any time for fun? I mean, I know New Orleans it's a fun place. I've never been there, but that's what I hear. But I mean, what take us through what that's going to be like for the next couple of days?
Yeah. So I'll go down Wednesday night on the team charter. I'll go down Wednesday, and then Thursday is the first day of. I mean, the media scrutiny and the media availability is nothing like it. We went in 2009 and then went again in 2016. In that 7 years, it changed so drastically. So Thursday, the team will have a closed practice at the Superdome, and then from 11:30 to 3:30 is all media obligations. So that's when they do.
That's a long day.
When you turn the game on, you see like the shots with like the fire going on and the dance shots and all the glamour shots. They do all that on Thursday. It's like 4 hours of it. That's crazy. And then Friday will be media availability again, practice, and then we'll play on Saturday. The team will kind of be in the hotel, but I think us staff members will have some fun. We'll hit Bourbon Street and check out get some good meals in the French Quarter.
I hear you, buddy. Well, I'm rooting for you guys. I'm happy for you. Congratulations on all the success you've had. 3 Final Fours in the last 6 seasons. I mean, that's incredible. Jay Wright's that's our guy now. He's our new model coach out there. Yeah,
that's our new guy now.
You guys got to come up. Come on a road trip next year. Trips on the tickets, everything on me. Come to a game. Come on
road tripping. Are we road tripping?
Done.
Be there. We will be there.
When the schedule comes out, courtside seats. I'll take care of parking. All I got to do is get there and get a hotel, and I'll take care of everything else. It's on me.
You're our favorite guest we ever had.
Yes, sir.
I know we have UCLA coming to our place next year, so I don't know if that date works, but we'll play some good teams. So you guys come on up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yes,
love it. Thank
yes.
you so much for that.
Yes, well, and thank you, Dean Kenefick, for joining us here on the Sports Bros podcast. He is the Senior Associate AD of Communications at Villanova University. Good luck to you and the Wildcats in a few days. Thank you very much, Dean. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I enjoyed it. I'd love to come on anytime.
All right.